All right, moving on to something else that's kind of in the realm of we'll see how it happens. LA Knight, we know he's been big on SmackDown recently. He's gotten over as of like WrestleMania, and they're just WWE's finally starting to take notice of it. As of this, back at Payback, he had the big win over the Miz with John Cena as the uh, guest referee, and then kind of giving him the rub, holding up his arm. Could we see a John Cena feud with LA Knight in the future? Maybe, maybe. I mean, it looks like we have a feud between the Miz and John Cena with LA Knight included. Although LA Knight, I think, is moving on to bigger and better things. But that depends on if he's going to end up staying with the company. Right now, it looks like Fightful Select is reporting that there's no new deal with WWE. The rumor had it that LA Knight signed a new deal. That's why he's getting a big push right now. However, he's still got a year and a half on his contract. So he's not going to be going anywhere until 2025. With that said, they're trying to lock him up for like a 5-year plan right now, a 5-year contract. LA Knight's in his 40s. Everybody thought, he thought he wasn't being pushed because of his age, which is a possibility. However, if you look at a guy like AJ Styles, who's roughly the same age, maybe a little older than LA Knight, the potential is there for big things to happen. He's not a flash in the pan. He's not somebody like Goldberg that'll come back in, 1 or 2 matches a year. He can consistently keep going for the next 5 years, make that money, and then, become that attraction. LA Knight, in my opinion, is probably the best chance to create a new top babyface. As a matter of fact, he's listed as the top babyface on SmackDown currently. So it looks like the WWE and LA Knight are far apart on the the money side of the contract negotiations. So we shall see how that goes. Um, John Cena endorsed LA Knight as a top babyface. Uh, you know, Obviously the WWE is going to say that his push is not tied to a new contract. There are people that, and they basically say that there are various wrestlers who have deals that are expiring next year and are still getting pushes. They're not going to job them out for a year and a half, that's just ridiculous. And I think the fans would revolt, honestly. But LA Knight is kind of somebody who LA Knight is somebody who organically got over with the fans. Kevin Nash said that he didn't really know anything too much about LA Knight. And he actually liked LA Knight, or he actually likened LA Knight to a mixture of The Rock and Steve Austin. He's one of these Attitude Era fans, and he's got the catchphrases and the way he walks to the ring and no nonsense attitude, and he's great on the mic. LA Knight has been great on the mic. And they tried him in that stupid Max Dupree garbage. But anyway, this past Friday on SmackDown, for those of you who know the flub that Kevin Nash did when he made his first appearance on WCW Nitro back in '96, he made a comment to the point of to Eric Bischoff, "This is where the big boys play, huh? Look at the adjective play." Now, for everybody who knows, and he's taken a lot of shit over the years about it, the word play is a verb. So, LA Knight on SmackDown this past Friday kind of had a subtle bite back at Kevin Nash to say, he was in the ring talking about, I think it was about the Miz, and he said, it's funny, your theme song, the first line is, or your theme song is named "I Came to Play." And if I was a moron, I would say, look at the adjective. But I'm going to say I'm not a moron, so look at the verb play. I'm not here to play. So a subtle dig at Kevin Nash. I'm a Nash fan, and I always have been. I've been a huge Kevin Nash mark for my entire life. Matter of fact, my grandfather, who is probably my idol, passed away in 2000. His birthday was the same as Kevin Nash's, July 9th. So it's one thing for me to say, hey, uh, I really think that is I, LA Knight is not going to be facing Kevin Nash at any time because Kevin Nash ain't going back into the ring. Although Kevin Nash did have a lot of things to say about CM Punk, and I'll get to that in a little bit. However, I think that I think LA Knight's here to stay. I think they're going to come to a new deal and go from there. But LA Knight, in my opinion, is definitely going to be the top babyface going forward. Cody on Raw, LA Knight on SmackDown, and maybe it's branching, switch him up. But once we get rid of Seth Rollins, I can't stand him. I really can't. I mean, he's a great athlete, but his voice is grating. But once we get rid of Seth Rollins as the world champion, and we get Roman Reigns to finally drop the belt, which new rumors are saying they might want him to keep it through WrestleMania 40, but we'll see. But LA Knight is here to stay, and LA Knight is the top babyface, and that's because of the fans. That's not because of what's written on paper. That's because he got himself over. And we'll move right on.